Hey guys, it's Rusty Nelson talking watercolor again today. It is vlog 55, season 2, episode 18. So good to see you back here again. It's nice talking to you. For any new viewers, hi there, welcome. This is my Wednesday weekly post where I'm just sitting here talking to a camera and getting more comfortable talking on screen. Everybody who's been here before knows that. They're probably tired of hearing it. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. Still trying to develop a comfort level with this whole process. And thing that I'm currently doing, I've been doing it for about a year now. Well, actually over a year, about a year and 4 months. It's slowly improving. I've been making improvements to all my gear and tech as this last year has gone on. So things have made some improvements over time. So anyway, hey, normally what I do is I'll tell you what's been posted, keep an eye out for, and then what's coming up and what I'm planning on working on. So just so you can kind of get an idea of where I'm going. What I typically do is, at least for the last year or so, I've been trying to do various demos and tutorials, the same ones that I would do for my college level intro to watercolor class or my foundation drawing class, either my observational drawing class or my figure drawing class. So all of those three things kind of tied into some traditional media, some analog type media. I'm a graphic designer. I typically teach in the design program up at the university. Everything now that I do is digital. It's all done with computers, software, tablets, all that stuff. It's just the evolution and the way technology has affected the field that when I went through college was all done by hand, and being able to have those drawing skills, those painting skills was a big benefit. So now not so much. It's definitely a plus if you can have those skills and know how to do them. But with desktop publishing, it's not as necessary to be able to communicate what your design is going to look like because you have the software to do it for you. In my day, we used to have to marker comp and sketch everything out, type and everything. So it was a crazy time. So all right, let's look here. Let's see. I've had some pretty good comments on videos this last week. One of them was a question asking about the marker paper that I'm using in some of my drawing and marker comp demos. So that's a Ben Fang 360 marker paper. It's designed to take the markers and not bleed through a lot. I mean, it will bleed slightly if you're really getting heavy and the paper is really saturated, but it typically will not bleed as you are working up and developing your marker comp. So it's a lot of fun though. I forgot how much fun they were in just getting back in and doing them again. So I had a good question on whether I liked painting the line work in my watercolors more than just drawing it with ink lines. So it's a slight technique difference between drawing the line work with ink line, which is typically black, and or a painted line where you can then at least vary the color of your line. So I like both a lot. I do like the ability to sketch it out and have a nice ink drawing, be it a high contrast ink drawing or one with a lot of hatching and modeling and tonal work with it. I do like that. I mean, ink drawings are a lot of fun, just like marker comps. But I do appreciate the skill that I learned doing that and bringing that technique into a watercolor and really causing the watercolors to pop and have a lot of definition and structure, but having that line change color depending upon where I'm placing that line. So I don't know if I have a favorite. I like both of them. All right, yeah, and if you watch my face, I got this rugged dude. I think he's some author. Again, I'm not very good about, when I grab an image, I just grab it because I like it. I'm not making a note as to who the hell it is or what it was. So this guy's pretty rugged guy. I think he's some author. I don't know. That's the only thing that's floating around in my mind. But it turned out to be a pretty good watercolor face demo, but I demonstrated in it. I have a little picture-in-picture little round circle of me down in the corner briefly in my intro, I think it was, at least in my first phase of the watercolor. So I am learning new software and doing some new effects and things like that. Got my microphone tweaked out. Hopefully it sounds really good on camera. I don't have as much background noise, and I can level out my volume. So if I'm turning towards the mic and talking to it, it doesn't sound quite as big a difference as when I'm looking at the camera and the mic's right here. So it's actually, it looks like it's almost straight in front of me, but this is straight on right here. So so it's off to my right just a little bit. So that forced perspective going on there. So that was a good question. Yeah. Let's see here. How to improve skills. That's the $1,000,000 question. And again, I'm working on a nice little syllabus for you guys to download and get from me. Kind of give you a whole semester's worth of, at least 15 weeks worth of exercises, projects, and tips to get you over the hump on going from beginner to an intermediate level, or even intermediate to an advanced, because you can have the same assignment and give it to any one of those 3 levels, and each one will perform at that level, because of the skills they have developed. So at the beginner stage, you're learning everything. You're trying to develop how to manage all of the various components, the states, the stages, the paper, when to slop the paint onto the paper, at what point should the paper be wet or dry. So there's so many things you're learning as a beginner. And then by practice, through that repetition, putting in your reps, getting better with each thing, even if you're focusing on one thing to get good at. You can't get good at everything all at once. So focus on one thing to get good at, and then just keep building that visual vocabulary, because that's exactly what you're doing. You're learning how to communicate in a completely new language. And it takes time to go from just chattering and babbling into being able to put sentences together and paragraphs and being eloquent, and which I have still yet to reach in my verbal state here. So anyway, that's a kind of a cool thing you need to be doing, is just put in your reps, practice these things, and I'll get that syllabus prepped and out there for you very soon. I'm working on it. I just haven't got it prepped, and I don't have my platforms just quite yet to where you can go to get it. So I'm definitely juggling a lot of different things in the air right now until the end of the semester. As soon as the end of the semester hits, I think I can kind of coalesce all the effort that I've been spending through the course of this semester and get it up and running for everybody to benefit from. So, and again, I thank you for everybody who has gone out and given me that $5 a month membership fee to just keep my doors open and producing the free stuff on YouTube right now. I really appreciate it. It's really helped me to kind of upgrade some of my equipment, because I was definitely on a shoestring budget. I didn't spend hardly any money in equipment to get up and running. I was working with my iPhone 13 and a iPad Pro that I use for my program up at the university. So it's definitely been a shoestring budgetary type operation up until just recently. So thank you for your support, and keep watching. Tell your friends and neighbors. I do want to have a lot of fun getting people up and off the ground, making and creating and working with watercolor or drawing, just creating and really doing something. That's the important thing. Once you get started on this, it opens up all sorts of doors for you to go out and about. If you want to be a plein air artist, if you just want to go out and do urban sketching, there are so many things that you can do. And don't worry about if it's being good or not. At some point, people will like what you're doing. No matter who, they'll like it, and you're going to feel great for doing it, and you're going to have a new fan and a follower of your own. So get in there, grab some paper, get a pen and pencil, get a brush, get a tablet for that matter. If you get an iPad, you can just kick back in your recliner. That kind of defeats the whole purpose. But you can sit back in the evenings with a tablet with Procreate, and you can get in there and start even practicing your skills, your drawing skills, your painting skills in a digital media. So there's all sorts of options for you, and that's really what I am hoping to bring to you and get you all enthused and get you inspired to pick it up and get going again. Whether you've ever done it before or you did it years ago and you're picking it back up, cool. Way to go. Get that creative journey going again. So let's see. What else do I have going here? I forgot to time this, so I have no idea how long I'm going to be talking. So I'm just going to go until I run out of notes on my little pad here. I think I had a couple of good comments about, I can see people are a little frustrated. They're not sure if they are now beginner or they're intermediate. And I think I've had several people who are a little frustrated. I think they think they're still beginners, but they're actually probably intermediates. And that's where I think the frustration's getting, because there's kind of a roller coaster ride of learning new things and then plateauing, and then it might take a dip, or it seems like a dip, but actually what you're doing is you're going up, learning something, plateauing, and practicing until you get really good at it, and then you take another rise up to the next level. So don't get frustrated. You are beyond. I mean, it doesn't take much to get beyond the beginner level. The intermediate's, I think, a longer, bigger hill to climb. So once you understand the fundamentals of the washes, creating a gradient wash or an even wash, cross color gradient washes, your states and stages of watercolor, you're pretty much ready to start going into the next level. I think the biggest thing people may have problems with watercolor is they may not have a good foundation with drawing yet. So you definitely have to work with drawing to understanding shapes, perspective, modeling, and form. And once those things are under control, mark making is very important too. And then taking that into the skill sets for watercolor. The drawing stuff is very important. It's a foundation skill. That's the first class we teach any of the kids up at the college. It's foundation observational drawing. So being able to see and understand what you're seeing and then translating that three-dimensional world into a 2D environment on that picture plane, right? And making the illusion of depth and three-dimensionality. So that's the biggest thing. Get into drawing, understand it completely, and then get over to the watercolor. Or try both. As long as you don't get overly frustrated with one or the other, bounce into one for a while, jump over to the other, and just keep bringing them up. Just kind of seesaw back and forth and see how it goes. So, but definitely, I'm giving you kudos for getting started and working on that again. So, well, I have no idea how long I have talked since I didn't start my little clock. So I hope you got something out of this discussion today. I hope it's more than 5 minutes. I think it has been. So give me a like and a subscribe. Head over to my Patreon channel. Give me that $5 a month membership if you think I'm doing anything that's of value to you or anybody else and you want to help out. I do appreciate it. And head into my video descriptions. I have links for marker paper, markers, watercolor pans, paper, brushes, things like that. And if you do click on any of those links, I'm going to get a small commission on that, and that helps as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week talking watercolor.